Here we here we are, y'all. Today I'm gonna be doing a reaction to an O'Shea Duke Jackson video where he is once again warring with one of the divestors out there, right? So let's take a look and see what's going on in the video.
Name of D's Olivia bitch too. She's a lady who really hates black men a lot. She feels that all black men are dusty and broke, and she'll make content like this.
Let's talk about these dusty ass. Okay. So when I say dusty, I don't mean tax bracket, okay? All black men are dusty. It does not matter their tax bracket, bitch. Get.
Okay, that's my first disagreement with her. But you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I disagree with her. All black men are dusty. I don't consider myself dusty. I know a lot of people that are not black men that I don't consider dusty as well. So I don't know, depending on what you mean by dusty, right? Excuse me. Depends on what you mean by dusty. You know, I'm taking dusty to mean, man, not good people in the long run and ultimately. And so, you know, but I know a lot of good black men, solid dudes, man, family men, you know, some that don't have families yet, but they still solid dudes, you know, so, but let's continue.
Gabrielle Union is married to Dwayne Wade, and he makes millions of dollars, and she still has to go 50-50 with his ass, even though he cheated on her and had a baby on her. Russell Simmons, who has a lot of money, millions, cuts off his daughter's health insurance for no reason because he's mad to punish her because he's in the.
Now this is another strategy of the divestors, right? They will take a minuscule portion of the community that they've run into or that they've come in contact with, and they will extrapolate that into the mass amount of men. Now, I told you the reason why they do that is because that fits the narrative. See, what they can't say is me and other women like me have such horrible the way we choose men. We're Pookie pickers, and we, instead of admitting that they're Pookie pickers and they don't have a good idea of how to pick good men and sexually select good men, what they'll do is they'll put it off on the community and say, well, there's no good black men, right? And see, this is a thing I try to tell women, but of course nobody listens to me, but I try to tell them, good men and bad men are going to always want to have sex with you. So don't use that as well, this man don't want to have sex with me, so he's good. That's all men are gonna want to have sex with you, whether they're a good man or a bad man. They're sexually selecting you, right? The question is, what is the good man? The good man separates himself because and when I say good, I mean good for you. Because a good man for you might not be good man for the next sister, but a good man for you might see something in you and say, well, this sister is worth whatever I have to sacrifice to get to know her, as well as spending sexual time with her. A bad man for you is going to be a man that doesn't want to spend any time but just sexual time with you. And after that, he don't want you around him anymore. That's bad. That's bad for you as a woman, especially after you get up to your mid-20s and older. Men are basically wasting your time after that. If they don't want to pursue something further, they're really wasting your time, right? In my opinion. So, but like I said, this is a scapegoat mentality. This is a scapegoat strategy. Instead of taking personal responsibility for being a Pookie picker, I'm going to say that the whole field is, the whole well is poisoned, right? So I'll never win if no matter what fish I pick out of the well, it's always going to be a poison fish, right? In reality, all you looking for is the shiny fish. There's other fish swimming down there that are down there, but you won't pick them because they ain't shiny. Their scales don't glisten in the sun, right? but you never know what's that fish got going on. You know what I'm saying? Until you explore that. But because black women, not black women, these particular black women don't have the skills of conversation, the skills to bring out have a man bring out in certain information to where they can make good decisions about whether they want to spend time with them or not. They don't know how to do it, right? Because they love swag. So they're attracted to the swag. So they need the swag effect, right? It's okay to have some swag, but you can't rest on the swag, right? You can't rest on somebody just because they got swag. Because if they got swag, that's cool. But if that's all you resting on is their swag, eventually you're going to need to eat. And swag can't feed you. Swag can't pay your bills. Swag can't take care of your children. Swag can't protect you if an intruder breaks into the house. Swag can't get up on that roof and nail fix that roof. Just saying. Just saying. All right, let's move on. But I just want to make sure that we understand each other. The reason why they say that all men are dusty is because they're telling on themselves that they do not have the decision-making skills to be able to pick decent men. They're Pookie pickers. No matter where you drop them, they're going to find the Pookies, and they're going to try to pick those people, and they're going to try to not always, but they try to use the conversion method. I'm going to convert this person, this Pookie, into a Pookie that can go to work, right? I've heard women say this, right? I want a gangster that is a good person, right? There's gangster dudes out there that are good people, right? But at the end of the day, they gangsters. They gangsters, man. They got that in their heart, and that's coursing through their vein, and that's the only way they want to live is hand to mouth like that, like a gangster. Okay, so that's, that don't mean they're a bad person. That's just the way they see it. But if you don't want to live like that, you want to live another kind of way, then you got to get a man that looks at things a little more, looks at things and looks for more stability, right? A little more stability, right? Nothing wrong with having a job. I mean, you ain't here to have a job. You got a purpose. You got a real thing to do. You got to figure that out as a man. But until then, having a job ain't bad. Feeding your family ain't bad. It is what it is, man. But anyway, like I said, the Pookie pickers are going to say, as soon as you hear somebody say, there is no good black man, you know they're a Pookie picker. Or I'm celibate. I've been celibate for 15 years or 20 years. Well, that's because they picking Pookies, and the Pookies have run them into the ground so much. And they have so little confidence in themselves to be able to pick a decent man that they just go celibate. They just leave men alone. Right? I'm talking about outside of people that had traumatic experiences, traumatic violations. And we're not talking about the people that had traumatic violations. We can understand somebody being violated traumatically. They've been violated sexually, and they say, hey, look, man, they react to it. You can't tell somebody how they can react to being violated. But I'm not talking about people that have been violated like that. I'm talking about people that have walked into the situation, and for whatever reason, they keep picking these Pookies, and then they say, well, there ain't no good black men. There's good black men. They just don't have the swag. They ain't driving Maseratis. They ain't pushing Benzos around. So you looking at them and saying, oh, this man ain't got nothing. He ain't got the swag I'm looking for. Okay. All right. What Stevie wanted to say? Boogie on, reggae woman. Boogie on, reggae woman.
Abusive. Anyway, that makes me so angry. Anyway, he's a piece of shit. Okay? And he has all those allegations and charges, bitch. Anyway, Dusty is black. Black men are dusty, and dusty is more than just money. A black male can have a ton of money and be a dusty son of a bitch. Okay.
And when she can't get a white man to take her serious, she even cries like this.
I need to find someone so I can just stick to and cling to and have a baby for. I'm jealous of women who already have children. It pains me to see other women that already have children sometimes. It really does, because I wish I had children already. And I wouldn't be this fucking stressed about having a child. Because that's what I am. I'm very stressed about having a child. I'm not going to lie. I would hate to just adopt and it not be from me. And I'm not talking about no mammy shit. No, oh, I need a chocolate baby. No, I'm talking about I want a child that came from me, from my white husband, my white fiance. I don't care at this point. But white husband, white fiance, a boyfriend that lasts more than 6 months, I don't care. As long as...
Now, now I'm going to say, everybody has their preference, right? If you prefer white men, that's fine. You prefer white men. There's a lot you're going to have to get around being with a white man, and he's going to have to be a special kind of white man to be with you, right? Because the average white man is going to want a baby that looks like him. He's going to want a child that looks like him. That is going to promote his heredity, right? And most of these white men know that the black gene is dominant and the white gene is recessive. And if they have a baby with you, once that black gene gets in there, that's the dominant gene. How are you going to get around that? That's the difficult part. Yeah, they'll have sex with you. I'm sure they will flip you guys on the hoods and flip you guys in a hotel room and all that. When it comes to starting a family, only a special kind of white man is going to do that. Only a special one. So if you can find one that's willing to do that, hey, that's great. But I think the number of y'all, and I'm talking to the divesting community, the number of y'all that are interested in them, and then the white community usually don't work with other communities' throwbacks. See, we as black men, we work with everybody's throwbacks. The women in the white community get thrown back, black men, we'll scoop them up. Women in the Latin community get thrown back, we will scoop them up. Women in the Asian community get thrown back, we will scoop them up. The white community don't usually work that way. They usually try to get off the ones off the top, right? They used to try to work with the top shelf. Just saying. You don't usually see a white boy Harvard grad going down in here to Nickerson Gardens trying to meet, Shaquita or Shaniqua, right? Not typically, right? Usually they like to take off the top, take off the cream, right? So if you're not a cream woman, how are you going to meet this white daddy, white zaddy, or whatever? How are you going to do that? And then how you know that this man is going to want to have a family with you? So I think the delusion is really, I don't think, because a lot of women don't understand how men think. They think they know how men think, right? They think they know. And they can only crunch it up in their heads a certain way, right? Like they think they got it figured out. And so they crunch it in their head a certain way, and they don't know how to understand, hey, men think a certain way. That's why you're getting the results you're getting. Because you going off of your own understanding instead of sitting down with a man and getting the reality. But see, most of the men that's coming in contact with you probably are trying to have sex with you, so they're telling you what you want to hear so they can get endear themselves to you so that they can one day catch you at a weak moment where you will let them have sex with you. Unfortunately, that's the unfortunate part about this. I think women have the divesting community, well, all women really, but in particular the divesting community, because you're chasing after men that are in high demand. White men are the most in demand, and so in the sexual marketplace, white man is in high demand, right? Good white men are even in higher demand, right? They in higher demand. Good white man with a job, good job, even higher demand. But the white woman has something that you can't do, and that the white woman can reproduce him. You can't reproduce him. How are you going to get around that? See, that's the white woman's one selling point. No matter how big she gets, no matter how she can always, when he reproduces with her, he's going to get another white baby. He's going to get a white child. That'll never happen with you. So how are you going to get around that? Because that is a what do you call that? That is not a selling point, but the opposite of a selling point. That's a ding. That's a huge ding. Now, like I said, there's some white men that don't care. Hey, I just want a healthy baby, right? It's a very special group there. Very special group there. So how do you find that group? Right? Oh, I'm going to go online, Clarence. I'm going to go online and find that group. You are? Yeah, I'm going to go online. Or this is the real misunderstanding that these divestors have. They want me. They want to flip you in a car, flip you in a hotel room, but when it's come to starting a family, and there's nothing, and let me say this, there's nothing wrong with a white man wanting a white baby to look like him. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. However, if there's one that wants to have a baby with you and knows that, hey, that baby's going to have black blood in it, and then therefore that's what its race is going to be because of the dominant blood. As long as the baby's healthy, there's some white guys that's like that out there, like that. Like, man, I'll F it. As long as the baby's healthy, I'm good. But that's a small minority of white men. That is a super small minority. Anyway, like I said, that's a small minority. Small minority of white men. So how are you going to find that group? How? Because I don't think that group is looking for you in particular. I think they're trying to pull from the top tiers. Right? College grads, good families. That's where they're trying to pull from. Anyway, this lady's crying because she wants a baby from a white man. I think everybody's entitled to their preference. I don't think that's a super big issue. I just think that logically it's going to be difficult to do, especially white men they have less tolerance than the rest of us. Like black men have a humongous range of tolerance, right? Like I said, black men will take the throwbacks in the white community, they'll take the throwbacks in the Asian community, the Latin community, whatever, typically. But white men are not like that typically, right? They don't usually like the throwbacks of any other community. They like to they like to scoop off the top, right? They like to get the cream off the top. Anyway, that's an issue. So I can understand why you're having issues. Plus, what would you run into a man like that? I'm thinking typically you probably wouldn't run into white guys on a regular basis. Just looking at your vibe. And then I'm looking at your vibe. The average man wouldn't be interested in you, let alone a white man with a good job, let alone a white man that's with a good job that wants to start a family. That is a small group. And guess what? You're competing with you're competing with the white women, the best of the white women. You're competing with the least of the white women, the middle ground of the white women, which is the biggest portion of them. And then you're competing with the throwaways, right? On top of that, you're competing with the with the women, with the Latin women that want a zaddy, right? You competing with the Asian women that are looking for zaddies. How are you going to compete against that? And I'm talking about top tier looks, top tier education, top tier, you know, what do they say? Submission. These women understand what is going to be expected of them, and they're willing to present that. Whereas a lot of the divestors, right? Feminism, go feminism. I want to be equals. Except for when somebody breaks into the house. Except for when these bills need to get paid. Except for when the roof starts leaking in the middle of the night. Right? I want to be equal until when the roof starts leaking, though. I don't want to be equal. Hey, come on. Hey, baby, you need to get the ladder out of the garage, get up there on the roof and figure out and start and put some boards up there. What? But I'm a woman. Wait a minute, I thought we were equal. Ay. Shout out to the Divestors, man. Shout out to the Divestors, man. They pushing a hard line. They just frustrated they can't make it happen. So they got to come on YouTube and talk about it, man. If the Divestors if they were successful, you wouldn't hear a word from them. You wouldn't hear a peep out of them. Right? You don't hear billionaires on YouTube coming. Billionaires don't come on YouTube talking about the investments they lost money in, right? You don't hear millionaires come on here talk about the investments they lost money in. Let me tell y'all about all these investments, and I hate this kind of it. They don't. Only you people pretending to be billionaires and millionaires come on YouTube talking about money. Billionaires and billionaires, they don't talk about money. Especially the people that they know can't understand that kind of money. You can't understand that kind of investment and loss. You can, man. Most of y'all, you lose $100 out of your paycheck, you be like, "What? What's going on? I know I would. Where is it? I know I had it, right?" Shout out to the Divestors, man. Shout out to the Divestors. Okay, let's finish with O'Shea.
It's a fine white zaddy that sticks around. I will have a baby for him. I need that in my life. I mean, I want marriage, of course. I do, but I'm getting a little bit desperate because I'm getting older. And
here we go. Getting a little older. So the desperation is ramping up here. Okay? So what does desperation usually do? What do we do? See, before desperation steps in, people have standards. I'm going to only deal with this type of situation, and that's it. But as the desperation comes in, the standards start getting lowered, right? I want a white man. He got to be making 6 figures, and he's got to be, on the bowling team. Just leave it right there, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Hold on. All right, y'all. Yeah, man. Paid landlord rent. All right. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah. So you out here, you getting desperate so your story can land. First you say you want a white man. Then you say you want a white man that's making this much money. Then you say you want a white man that wants to start a family, right? Now I just need a white man. I just want to say I had a baby for a white man. Hey, congratulations, man. I'm sure there's a white man out there that'll impregnate you. I'm sure, right? It's probably not going to be the one at the level you probably looking for, right? Because people can see your desperation. They can see, right? And the white man knows he's at the top of the ring, man. He's at the top of in the sexual marketplace. He's at the top of the ring. He's at the top. So he got carte blanche. Right? For no other reason other than the fact that he's white. That's his biggest selling point. I'm white. Right? So he's at the top of the sexual marketplace ring. I know they don't like to talk about this stuff, but I will. How are you going to compete with that? As a divestor? And then you don't even think about it like this. The white man will look at you and say, damn, you turned your back on your own man. Damn, what would you do to me if I make you mad? If I piss you off, what you gonna do to me? That's what I would be thinking. I would be like, damn, you turned your back on your own man. I can understand if I'm your preference and you just say, hey, I ain't got nothing against black men. They're just not my preference. I think a white man would understand that better than I hate black men and I'm just gonna only date white men because I hate black men. Because they made me mad. Oh, okay. I keep picking the wrong black men. Probably you're going to keep picking the wrong men, period, no matter what color they are. But white men are a lot more sophisticated as far as looking at women because they have to, man. They are at the top of the ring, man. They got to watch their step. If they get involved with the wrong person, they can bring the whole family down, right? They can bring the whole family down. They can get ridiculed from the mother to the father to the grandparents. So they got to watch their step. How you going to compete with that, divestor? How you going to compete with that? They look at you as turning your back on your own people. If you're willing to turn your back on your own people, what you going to do to me when you get mad at me? But I think the divestors don't understand that. They don't think like that. They think like, hey, I got this wig on. I got this weave on. I'm good. I can do some things in the bedroom. I'm good. As long as I keep this sexual tension up, I'll be okay. But what y'all don't understand is, man, sexual tension only lasts for so long. After a while, man, if you are not a good person, it's going to eventually show up. It's going to eventually pop up, whether you put out good sex, whether you putting out high sexual tension or not. Eventually, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, things are going to show themselves. All right, let's get back to it.
I keep having these failed dates and they always make me feel worse about myself, even if they're out of shape and ugly and I'm way hotter than them. I still feel like, well, damn, the ugly guy still doesn't think I'm good enough. Like, even the fat guy doesn't think I'm good enough. I'm not good enough for him either. If I was 23 again.
See, that's the thing. She thinks that it's her age that's the issue. It might play a small portion, but it's the totality of you and your desperateness and your being a woman of no nation. Once people see you have no loyalty to nobody, if you ain't got no loyalty to your own people, you think a white man gonna look at you and say you gonna be loyal to me just because I'm white? He gonna say to himself, the only reason why she's with me because I'm white. What happened when she run into another white man? See, y'all don't think divestors. Listen to me, divestors. Come here, gather around. Listen, let's talk for a second. If you're going to present yourself to white people, man, you got to know what the white man is looking for and then present yourself culturally looking for. And then you got to know what he's looking for in particular. And then you got to present yourself like that. You can't present your own ideas. That's like me walking into Foot Locker saying, I want some Jordans, and they bringing me some LeBrons and trying to get me to buy the LeBrons. I don't want the LeBrons. I want the Jordans. And even if I buy the LeBrons, no disrespect, that's not what I want. You might get me to buy those LeBrons today, but eventually I'm going to be back out looking for those Jordans. You ain't hearing me, Divestor. You ain't hearing me. You got to stop trying to sell people what you got and start finding out what they want and get that and sell them what they want. Even if it's the white man, you got to find out what he wants and sell him what he wants. Don't sell him what you got. Because a big part of the divesting community is selling the white man what they got and then shaming them into taking it. You can't shame people in the sexual marketplace. The sexual marketplace is exempt from shame. You cannot shame people in the sexual marketplace into accepting things that they don't want. That is the one place where you cannot do that. Well, I don't say the one place, but that is one of the places where shame does not enter into the sexual marketplace. You can't say, well, you should love me because I'm black. You should love me because I'm white. You should love me because I had these kids for you. Shame does not enter into the sexual marketplace. The only thing that matters in the sexual marketplace is attraction. Attraction. Am I attracted to you? Okay, now we can open up the lines of communication. But if you're not attracted to the person, you can't shame a person into attraction. I got this weave, so I want it's wrong for you. I know your mama had a weave, so you should love me because I have a weave. Or I'm a single mother, or I'm a single father. Your father was a single father. You should want to date me because I'm a single father, and your father was a single father. How could you not want to date me as a single father or as a single mother? You can't. And that's these people, man. They don't, especially the divestors, man. They just don't understand. You cannot shame somebody into being attracted to you. That's the wrong way to approach it. You can't shame somebody into having sex with you. Hey, we haven't had sex in 2 weeks. That's not good. That's not right. There's a reason why if a person's not having sex with you, there's a reason why they're not having sex with you. I keep trying to tell this stuff, man. Well, people don't listen to me, right? They see the glasses and they say, oh man, bro, Clarence, you ain't did nothing. We out here burning down the house and you up here talking from your little old lady rocking chair, right? You ain't never done nothing. You ain't never been out here. Brother Clarence could tell you some stories, man. But I don't want to focus on that. I don't want to focus on that part of my life. I want to focus on trying to help people not make the mistakes that I made, right? Poor divestors, man. They have a quandary, man. They have a really quandary, and it's like, what are you going to do? How are you going to fix this situation? How are you going to do something about this situation? How are you going to get over it? Anyway, let's continue.
So, of course, I think she's very funny and very interesting. So I will be a little petty and use her content to make fun of the situation and the mindset that the young lady has. I don't really have a personal issue with her. I think she's very funny. But, she's tired of me and my content. So she made a video with me in the thumbnail called Black Manosphere is Obsessed with Me Again. And basically she roasted me up. I'm going to play that particular clip and I'll come back.
Hey y'all, what it is, bitch. I've been trying to stay quiet on this situation. I've been trying to lay low and not talk shit because I felt like it was beneath me, bitch, because I just felt like, okay, I'm gonna let this little shit stain have his little tantrums about my bad dates. I'm gonna let this little shit stain talk shit about my mental illness, because a few months ago he made a video, and I'm talking about O'Shea Doogie Jackson, made a video about that date I went on with that therapist who basically said, oh, well, I don't want to be here, I don't like you, and I felt like a failure. I felt bad after that video, and they were all making fun of me because I have bipolar, right? So I let that shit slide because I felt like, okay, these don't know shit about mental illness.
Okay. I didn't know the sister had bipolar, right? I didn't know she was bipolar. But I don't think that has anything to do with the computations that she's doing in her head and say, hey, see, a lot of women make this mistake, especially the divestors, where they think that the marketplace is even. The sexual marketplace is an even play, and it's not. It's not. Men only want to pick from the best. There's certain type of men that only want to pick from the top of the list. They don't want to go down the line and find somebody they want the newest and most unused products out there. Especially men of means, they want the least used, most unused vagina they can find. And when you present like you have a very used vagina, that is going to be a problem. I don't care what color the man is. That may be a problem. Now, the difference is there's some guys out there, especially in the black community, because the self-esteem of men is so low. It's so low. It's so low. Why you say that, Clarence? Because a lot of men black men just have real low self-esteem issues, man. People have always told us we are thieves, we're conniving, we're this, we're that. Our mothers told us that. Our fathers told us that. They told us we wasn't gonna be shit. They told us we wasn't gonna be nothing. They told us then when we got onto the street, the people treated us like we wasn't shit. The school system treated us like we ain't shit. It's just an ugly situation, right? So I understand. It's understandable that black men would have low self-esteem. Then the women, most of our women would tell us that we ain't shit, we dusty, we this, we that. Unless you pushing a Benz, or unless you pushing G-Wagon, or you pushing a Lambo or something, they gonna call you dusty, right? Certain, and so the more attractive women are not, and we all want attractive women, but the more attractive women are not going to give you even a second look because the competition is so high, right? But the self-esteem in the black, especially for black men, is so low, right? I have people that come over here that, or I see them out in the YouTube streets, man, and they just holding on to shit from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something I may have said to them that they didn't like, and they just holding on to it like little kids. I'm talking about grown men. I'm talking about grown men, right? I mean, it just, but it just shows how low the self-esteem is for black men in the black community. And I'm saying that, man, it's just, we got to get better. We got to get better as black men, man. We got to start building our black men up. Us as other men, we got to pour into black men, right? We got to pour into them. I don't have to do nothing. I don't owe nobody. Unless you doing good, I ain't doing nothing for you. Okay, that's you, right? There was a man that was go into the highways and the byways and the alleyways looking for people to teach to, right? I'm trying to be like that. I kind of got that kind of personality where there's people out here that call themselves religious people, right? I believe in Christ. I believe in, oh no, but I'm only talking to you if you're doing good work. Okay, well then, that's not me. My job is to talk to the people, put a word out there to the people. They got their pants around their ankles. They laying in the gutter. The water's running over their face. Now, can I help them up? I can only help them up if they'll let me help them up. But if they don't want to get helped up, that's on them. I may say a word to them. That word may not germinate for another 2 or 3 years in their head. And then one day, it just click. They say, what am I doing in this gutter? Let me go get myself together. Let me go back to my father's house, right? Where I had on a silk robe and I had slippers for my feet. And they brought me fresh food every day. But here I am with the hogs. I'm eating after them. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But some of us got the responsibility of trying to talk to people that's out of sorts. I didn't know the sister had bipolar. Sorry to hear that. Do you really think a white man that's doing well with his life is going to want to be with somebody with bipolar? I see these divestors don't think, man. But they think, hey, my dedication to my beauty appearance will get this man to overlook the fact that I have some serious mental issues. Right? That's why I think O'Shea shouldn't even have said nothing to this chick or nothing about her. For what? Her not being able to go on, her not being able to find anybody is proof in itself that this system of thinking doesn't work. The Cynthia G's and them, that these divestors that are out here, they can't seem to show where it can work. They just can't seem to show. And the one in a million, like Candace Owens or something like that, she does not pushing the divesting line. She pushes the divesting line up to a point, and at a certain point, she don't push that whole I'm not submitting everything. I guarantee you, for her to keep that white man she got in her house, she gonna have to be a certain way. She had to learn what his culture was interested in, and then learn what he himself was interested in, and then make out of a combination of that, be a person that he would be interested in. You can't. Stop, divestor. Stop trying to sell white people what they don't want to buy. Stop trying to sell white men what they ain't trying to buy. Sell them what they're trying to buy. They're trying to buy just like every other good man, a good black man is trying to buy. A good woman with a good moral compass. Attractive. Somewhat fit. I say you got to be an Olympic sprinter, but you got to be at least somewhat fit. That's attractive to men. Then you got to have a good personality. You got to be easily get along with. That don't mean you will go and don't speak your piece, but you speak your piece in a way where it doesn't disrupt the dominance of the man. See, men want to dominate in a relationship. That's natural for them. But when you as a female want to dominate, especially a lot of white men, I'm talking about most of them. Yeah, there's some of them that want to be dominated by females, but that is not going to last because the average female ain't going to respect the man that wants her to dominate him, not over a long period of time. She's going to see him as a trick at some point. That's the dichotomy, man. All of this weird stuff happens all the same time, and they the divestors, man, just don't do the mathematics to understand why this stuff is happening to them. Her saying that she was bipolar, that's just another thing that shows that another component to the fact of why she probably is unsuccessful, not only dating black men, but white men as well. Nobody wants to date somebody who's bipolar. I'm just being honest. Oh, Clarence, you can't say that. See, you're saying something against mentally ill people. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not saying nothing against mentally ill people. I just know the truth. I know the truth is men are not looking to get in relationships to do more work. They're looking to get in relationships so they can have they can have less they can put out less effort. Right? They can have somebody who accepts some things about them and is willing to take on some things, do some things to help them, as well as they're gonna do some things to help that other person. They're not looking to be with somebody who they're going to have to deal with some serious mental issues. Nobody's looking to do that. I don't think so. And people like this, a lot of times they hide it. Why? Because they know. As soon as the person finds out that they bipolar, they know that the person's going to say, yikes. Why? Because you shouldn't be dealing with somebody with bipolar unless you have some type of medical training, right? If you don't have no medical training, what are you doing dealing with somebody with mental illness? And then you definitely shouldn't be in a romantic relationship with them if you're dealing with them. You should be dealing with them in a process to try to help them manage that. I don't know. I can't say if it can be healed or not. I don't know. I don't have that information yet. But I feel like almost anything can be rectified. I feel that way. But mental illness, I don't know. I don't have the proof to back it up that it can be rectified. That's my feeling, but I don't have the proof to say, well, here's this study, and this is the proof that it can happen. Anyway, those of y'all out there in the dating world, I know they say, hey, Clarence, you've been married all them years. You can't say anything, Clarence, because it's different. Oh, really? Women are real different, right? They're real different. Women are the only thing that probably hasn't changed that much in the past 50 or 60,000 years. They really have not changed hardly at that much at all, really. They pretty much want the same things they've always wanted: safety, security, be able to have and raise children, and be in a secure home. I think they pretty much are the same. Now, culturally things have changed. Yes, culturally things have changed, right? But that's what I'm talking about, Clarence. See, you ain't out here dating. I know. But if I was, I'd be successful. I'd have a very good success rate. How would you do that, Clarence? Because the bar would be so high that I would only be dating maybe once or twice a year, probably. Maybe. But while you trying to go out on dates twice a week, I would probably maybe go out on a date maybe once every 3 or 4 months. Not go out on a date. We're be dating someone once every 3 or 4 months. I wouldn't spend that much time with a lot of different women, because I don't need to spend a lot of time with a woman. Once I see that she is not right for me, that's it. I wouldn't even, But a lot of you guys say that's okay. I know she ain't right for me, but I'm gonna get the boots. I'm gonna knock those boots. Right? Okay. That's you. That's the difference between me and you. And if you trying to just knock boots, now you're right. I don't know. I don't know what it's like being out here being irresponsible with women. I don't. You're right. I have no idea what that's like. I would never do that. I would never teach my sons to do that. I would never teach no young man to do something stupid like that. Because today's, that's something you could do back in the day. It wasn't as many infectious diseases going around. It wasn't as many women that were willing to start major conflict out there. Today, a lot of these women, they ready to start major conflict over nothing. Right? So it just can't be like that anymore, right? They're willing to have 2 men that never met each other be fighting in the street over them. Some of these women are that vicious, man. Look at this Carly Russell situation. All the people, all the manpower looking for her, looking for this kid. And it's no big deal. It's not, right? It's no big deal. Right? Her mother's like, hey, why are you guys mad at her? What do you mean, why are we mad at her? Of course we're going to be upset with you. We were looking for you. And now people that really are needing that help, people that probably really needed that, those people that you diverted those resources to, there's some real people that lives could have been saved if we would have had those resources available. But they was out there looking for you. Anyway, I'm just trying to say, man, a lot of these women, man, they just have such a mentality of just cluelessness. But I digress. Shout out to Patrice. I digress. I'm just going to say, hey, man, just be careful out here. Everybody, men and women, be careful out here. You see, most men are dating for sex. Now, the unfortunate part is now a lot of the women are dating for sex. Hey, I just need somebody to, scratch my back real quick, and then I'll be on my way. I don't understand. I don't know who told men in their head that, women have this inherent desire to be in monogamous relationships. They don't. Women are not inherently monogamous. They're not. Nobody is inherently monogamous. You look at any other mammal, most of them are not inherently monogamous. Some are, but most of them are not. And the higher you go up in the food chain, usually the monogamy goes away. So expecting women to be naturally monogamous that's a bad assumption. What she should assume is that you should see if the desire is there for monogamy. Some women, they don't want to be monogamous. They just don't. They've been hurt so many times or so much that they don't want to be disappointed. So the way they avoid disappointment is avoid commitment. That way, there was never a covenant to be broken. So if you cheat, you cheat. It's no big deal. They just gonna cheat too. A woman is supposed to be like, who told you that? Who told you that? Women are just as promiscuous as men, unless they're taught other than. They have to be taught to be not to be monogamous. You have to be taught that. Left on our own, if we weren't in a civilized society, there would not be no monogamy. There wouldn't be a need for it. There's a need for monogamy in this society, but anyway, I'm going off on a lot of different things. Let's finish this up. Almost an hour, y'all. Oh, holy smokes. Let's finish this up.
For one, and for two, half these mental illnesses themselves that they have not even checked out. Y'all know niggas go to the damn doctor, much less a psychiatrist or a damn therapist. So I let it slide, y'all. I didn't say anything months ago because I'm like, yeah, this shit beneath me, that ugly ass. But girl, he keeps talking about me, bro. Are you obsessed with me? The fuck, you know, obsession is a sign of mental illness too, right? You might have a little touch of something in your damn self and you don't even know it, bitch. This is why I tell black women that you need to stay away from these shit logs, these dusty. All of them are dusty. Because even when you're not even talking about them or talking about them directly, they have tried to attack you. He's made videos. He's put clips of my videos like about Doja Cat and random shit in his videos, still talking shit months later. Like, bruh, get off my cooter. Okay, I'm not trying to. I don't even like your type. Ew, I don't.
See, that's another thing, man. Just I disagree with O'Shea about chasing down somebody, especially once you find out she got some mental disease or mental condition. Just leave her alone, man. There's no reason to be, because this is what you're gonna get, man. That's the first thing that she gonna say is, "I'm not trying to have sex with you. You trying to have sex with me. That's why you keep talking to me," right? I was waiting outside of a place, man. I was waiting for a coworker, right? Coworker said, "Hey, I want to show you where the electrical systems are here." And I said, "Okay," and my coworker was telling me, she said, "I'm down the street. I'm working with a customer now." She said, "As soon as I get done with this customer, I'll be right there." We were up in the valley somewhere, right? They took me from Metro LA. They said, "Hey, you need to go up there. They need your help up there." So I'm out here helping this other unit up here in the valley, right? 100 degrees up there. Anyway, so I took a picture of the dashboard, sent it to my wife. 100 degrees. And so in the shade, right? So I'm like, so anyway, I'm waiting for my coworker to show up, right? I'm in front of this apartment building, right? And so she said, "Yeah, man, this is a tough one. So I need to show you where everything is, because I was gonna be working there the next day." So I said, "Okay." So I'm waiting for the sister, and so I'm sitting. So there was like, you know how in one of these apartment buildings they have lobby, right? They have a lobby area. So I'm sitting in the lobby area, waiting for my coworker to pull up, and this chick was outside, right? And so she saw me in there waiting, and she said when she saw me in there waiting, she left. She said she walked away, right? So I said, "Oh, okay," because I thought she was waiting on somebody like an Uber or something, right? So anyway, she's on the phone, but she walked away, right? So she comes back a few minutes later and saw that I was still sitting in there and was looking at me like, what the F are you doing here, right? She didn't know what I was doing there, right? So she's like, what is he doing here, right? And so she had no clue, right? She just thought I was just some random cat sitting in the lobby, right? So she was like, I guess she was waiting on me to come out so she could go in, right? So I was just sitting there, man, because I'm waiting on my coworker to come in, take me around to all of the electrical systems. So I said, I just, I'm sitting there playing music on my phone in the lobby, right? And so the chick just came again and again, walking back and forth, waiting for me to walk out of the lobby. Finally, she just left. And so I was telling my coworker, I said, "Man, you took so long. This chick was I think she was trying to come into the lobby, and the door was open. She could have just walked in there, but she didn't come in there because I was sitting here. See, you had her waiting, and I was sitting here, had me waiting." So my coworker started laughing. I said, "Yeah, man," but the reason why I brought that up is because the chick was thinking that I had stopped for her and was sitting in the lobby waiting for her to come in so I could shoot my shot. That's what her whole vibe was, right? And it wasn't even like that. She didn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even like that at all, right? I wasn't like, every time she walked past, I was running up to the door, looking where she went. I was sitting in my chair, right? She left. She came back, right? Whatever. But ultimately, y'all, we just see, it's just the way, unfortunately, I guess women have to think like that to keep themselves safe. They have to think like, they can't think like they can't think on a case by case basis. It's safer for them to think like everybody is this way and everybody is this way. I guess it's easier on them to just make that assumption. I guess it's safer, right? Whatever. But I just thought it was funny. Unfortunately, but so O'Shea, just leave this girl alone, man. Don't make another video about her. Now she straight out said she had mental illness. Just leave her alone, man. Ain't nothing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing to deal with somebody who's just hard-headed. Another thing to deal with somebody who got mental illness and they admit they got mental illness. At least she admitted it. So, hey, just leave her alone. Let her continue to give out bad advice. Hopefully nobody is really listening to it and trying to practice it. She, I always laugh at people that give advice that can't make work in their own life, right? They're telling you how to pick a wife and they can't pick a wife, right? They're telling you how to do with a marriage, but they can't handle a marriage. They're telling you how to deal with a long-term relationship. They don't have no long-term relationship, right? They're telling you how to sexually select women, but they can't sexually select women or men. Right? They telling you how to sexually select men, and they can't find, they don't have no solid ground to stand on, right? Anyway, man, we almost done, y'all. We almost done. We had an hour. We almost done, y'all.
You're not my type, okay? My types are Brads, okay, and Chads, okay? Not no Dookie Stain, okay? I don't like.
How's the Brad and Chad going? How is the Brad and Chad going? I don't think the Brad and Chadding is going too good. And unfortunately, like I tried to tell you, while white men think differently than black men. See, y'all think everybody think like black men. Black men and take everybody in. Flaws and all. Black men got the openest arms, right? Black men's arms are the most open. We take everybody in. Throwback Asians, throwback Latinos, throwback white people, white women, throwback black women. Right? We take everybody in. Right? The white community is not like that. I'm trying to tell you. A major portion of the black community, we take everybody in, just about. But not in the white community. It's the opposite. It's a very small percentage of white men that would take in women of other races. Then of those men, the ones that will take in busted women and divestors, that's even smaller. That's even smaller. And those of them that will reach past the Asians, past the Latinos, and past the own white women to reach for a black woman, I'm talking about on the sexual market scale. That group is even smaller. How you gonna compete there, sis? I don't know, but hey, good luck to you. Hope you find what you're looking for. Because in this life, what you want to do is be a good person and be happy. And there's a lot of things you got to do in between all that, but at the end of the day, you want to be a good person, be happy, go to sleep at night, and wake up happy, with or without somebody, right? With or without somebody. You're always with somebody because there's God is always there. So you're never alone. You might not have a physical presence there, but you want God in the presence of a man, God in the presence of a woman. You want to see God in this woman. You want to see God in this man, right? Women out here looking for God in a man, right? Well, women that got sense in their head. Then you got the divestors, man. They looking for, they are just looking for somebody whose skin is white. That's where we start. And that's it, right? Like this sister said right here. Started out wanting a white man with a good job and making 6 figures and a high value white man, right? Then she said, I don't care if he's fat. I don't care if he's busted out of shape, whatever. Long as he's white. Long as he's white. All right, I'm going to stop right here, man. O'Shea, if you want to see this whole video, I'll give you the whole video. But, O'Shea, just a word to the wise, man. Leave these divestors alone, man. They are their own worst enemy. They are the best case scenario for seeing why divesting is. Now, if you have a preference for white men, you got a preference. That's cool. But the divestors and pushing the divestor program, they're their own worst enemy, man. They're the best, what do you call that? They're the best salesmen of why not to do this. They're the best salesmen of why this is a horrible reason to date white men. If you want to date white men, just date them, man. You don't have to be a divestor. Just say, hey, I prefer white men. Why you got to say I'm dating white men, and the reason why I'm dating white men because ain't no good black men. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie, Craig. Right? All right, y'all. Let's get on out of here, man. Let's wrap it up, man. Yeah, man. Y'all divestors, man. Hey, just you got some issues to work out. And one of the major issues is providing that white child. That's something that you can't do. But if you can find a white man that's going to be okay with that, cool. I'm just saying that number is small. That number is very small. So you have to understand that if you're going to compete for that man, those type of dudes, you're going to have to be really on top of your game. You can't come in there with that sassiness, because typically white men don't like to marry a sassy. They don't want to marry a sassy women. Sassy women. They don't typically like that. They'll flip you. Don't get me wrong. They will flip you, but they're not going to marry you. And it looks like a lot of you guys are going over there not just to get flipped, but to try to get into long-term relationships. Good luck. You got a heavy competition, and good luck. you thought you had high competition for good black men. Holy smokes. You get over to the white community and try to divest over there and try to compete for good white men. The competition is ginormous. You'd probably 10x your competition going over there. Good luck. And a good weave ain't gonna get it. A Brazilian butt lift ain't gonna get it over there. You got to come with it. But we'll talk about that in another video. All right, y'all. What y'all think, man? Am I right? Should O'Shea continue to mess with somebody who's got mental illness, who's self-admitted that she got bipolar issues, or should you just leave it alone? And how about the rest of us? When we're dealing with somebody with mental illnesses, should we just press them, or should we just leave them alone? Right? Sometimes y'all, we got to know when to take a L. A small L is actually a big W, right? Take the small L so you can get the big W. But too many of us, we don't want no L's in our jacket, and so we stay away from the small L to get the instead of taking the small L to get the big W. We don't get the W we don't get the L or the W. We won't take the L or we won't get the W. That's wrong with a lot of us. Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think. Peace.